The Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green just got another suspension due to putting Rudy Gobert in a headlock. Shout out Rudy and the T-Wolves, man. Put Rudy Gobert in a headlock, and here we are. The Warriors' downfall is currently happening. Klay Thompson looks like a shell of himself. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry, which is unfortunate that it's being wasted away now, his final prime years, with a team that just seems like they aren't getting their stuff together at the current moment. Is this the end of the Warriors dynasty?
Man, I hate to count out the Warriors, but they look old. Like, they look old and slow.
Facts.
Chris Paul looks old. Like, he's been good for what you want from him, but he's just not doing it for you. Klay Thompson looks old. He can't move on defense. He can't get separated on offense. He cannot create a shot for himself anymore at all. Like, you have to get him looks. He can't go. He can't.
Crazy.
He can't create off the dribble. He can't get to the basket. Who else? Wiggins. Wiggins hasn't been great. I mean, it's just like I said. They look tired. They look done. I think Draymond just took his frustrations out on Rudy Gobert. There was no reason to put that man in a headlock other than internal struggles. So
Draymond is hilarious.
Draymond is something, man.
Draymond is Draymond.
And they just they give the ball to Klay, hoping they're gonna get the old Klay. They're not getting the old Klay.
He's gone.
And yeah, he's gone. He's he's living it up somewhere. But it really looks like it. That's all I'll say. It really looks like the time has come. But when you have one of the 3 to 5 best players in the world in Steph Curry, anything's possible. So, and the Warriors aren't afraid to, they know their windows now while they have that top 3 to 5 player, as I said. They're not, I would hope they're not afraid to make any moves necessary if they can.
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted because me personally, Steph Curry is probably my favorite player in the league, which is kind of wild to say, being I'm a Celtics fan. But like, outside of Steph Curry on that Warriors team, there's literally no other production. There's nothing. Chris Paul, he's having arguably one of the worst shooting years of his career, but that's not really what they brought him in for. They bring him off the bench to try to help him bring bench scoring, help cut down on the turnovers, and help really just provide some kind of spark off the bench, kind of how Jordan Poole was, but just not at the high frequency of scoring as Jordan Poole was. Andrew Wiggins is, I feel like I can't really count a guy out like Andrew Wiggins because he's really the dirty work guy. I never look for Andrew Wiggins to go get me 25 points. If he does, that's a plus. I look for Andrew Wiggins to go guard the best player, occasionally backdoor cuts, and just knock him down when you open. So I don't really expect a lot out of Andrew Wiggins. Klay, on the other hand, is cooked.
Cooked.
I just don't. It's like if Klay's not off to catch and shoot, it's really hard to watch him play basketball. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy because in the offseason, he said this was one of the most important offseasons of his career, that he was taking it really serious and he was really looking to come into the season as a quote unquote new Klay Thompson. And he's
fooled me.
Lying motherfucker.
No, you're right. He did come in as a new Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
He came
a literal new
Klay Thompson.
Man, it's hard to watch that team sometimes if Steph's not going for 40. You see what I'm saying? But man, I like Draymond though.
Yeah, me too.
Thing with the Warriors is they just don't have the juice like they once had. And DeShields was saying this in the group chat the other day that they should have never traded Jordan Poole, and I
said the same thing.
Kind of had to.
Low-key kind of agreeing with him. I mean, the Warriors, I'm filtering everything over the last 10 games because the Warriors in their last 10 games are 3-7. So when I look at all these stats, like, they're amongst the league lead in terms of shot attempts and 3-point attempts. They're 28th in field goal percentage over that time. Like, they just don't have the offensive juice. And then I'm looking at their player stats. Yeah, Steph's averaging an even 30 over the past 10. He's shooting 45% from the field, 45% from three. Like,
Steph Curry thing.
yeah, he's been insane. But then their second leading scorer is Klay Thompson at 13.6 on an inefficient 13.6, not even shooting 40% from the field. After that, it's Wiggins, then Kuminga.
That's got to be the
Like-
biggest drop from top to second best player in the entire.
Like a
league.
17-point
17-point gap is
that's
ridiculous.
insane.
Like they just don't have the juice that they once had. And even if Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins turn it around a little bit and they get up to their, like I said, over their last 10, Klay's at 13.6, Wiggins at 12.3. Say they get up to 16 apiece more efficiently. Does that move the needle?
Yeah, it
Hell
does.
no.
It does. It doesn't make them
Make them
championship.
one of
It
the
doesn't
best
make them
teams in the-
championship
yeah, okay.
contenders, but it wins them more games. I mean,
I know, but we're
Think about
talking
it.
about the Warriors. It's championship.
Championship
or bust
boss.
for the
all right,
Warriors.
yeah, then no,
agreed.
then no.
We're talking about is the dynasty over. We're talking about championships here. They just don't have the offensive juice outside of Steph Curry
Yeah.
to compete with some of these teams. I mean, you look at the Nuggets. We know the Nuggets could put up points. You look at the Suns. We know the Suns could put up points. The Lakers obviously aren't as elite offensively as some of these other teams, but we just saw the Lakers handle them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely handle them. And then you look at all the other teams, all these young teams. They want to get up and down and put up points. The Kings, the Thunder,
Yeah, they run that back with the
the
Kings. They're getting
Timberwolves.
swept.
The Timberwolves. Even the Timberwolves are a great defensive team, but the Timberwolves will get up and down and put up points on you. Like there's a bunch of young, hungry teams
And
in the
they're
West
a big team.
that wanna put up points. And I just even like the Warriors, defensively, I don't think they're the same. Partially because Draymond's missed some time. I'll give them that excuse. But the bench unit's been okay. Like they've had their flashes, but am I really trusting Brandon Podziemski to give
I
me
was actually
quality
about to
minutes
say
in the
give him
playoffs?
more
Dario
minutes.
Saric. Like, I don't trust
Like-
those guys, bro.
I was gonna say though, give
Pods has been great. No,
yeah.
Pods has been cool for them. He's been awesome. He fits. He could, but he's a plug and play guy. You could plug Pods
Yes.
into any offense and he'll figure it out. He's been awesome. Moses Moody's been cool for them. He's
Kuminga's been
better.
rough.
Like Kuminga and Moody just aren't.
which is so disappointing.
It sucks.
They were supposed to be the next
Yeah.
gen.
Yeah.
And it's okay that they're not. It's okay that they're not these superstar next gen players,
Right.
but they're just not getting better.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They're just not getting better, it feels like. And I don't know what this team does to get better. I know the Warriors fans are they've been complaining about Steve Kerr since KD left, about his rotations and some of the stuff he does. So it seems like Steve Kerr isn't doing a great job coaching. The players clearly aren't doing a great job playing. And I don't know how this team becomes a title contender, even if they make a move or two at the trade deadline. I don't know if
What
there's
move is there to make?
I don't think there's anything out there that
They can't go get
I
like
mean,
Cat, right?
I don't.
Like they can't.
I
trade-
don't think
they
he's
can't
even
trade for
gonna
like
be
Cat or
available.
Yeah, at
Pascal.
this
I'm
point,
telling you, the T-Wolves ain't
Yeah.
making no
That's true.
fucking
At this
moves.
point, I don't think Cat's available. I will say I think Pascal moves the needle for me.
I was actually
Yeah,
about to
that's
say
what, that
you
was
could
my
get-
next name.
If you could get Pascal, that moves the needle for me. But are you gonna trade Draymond? How are you gonna get? You're gonna trade Wiggins? Like, how are you gonna get Pascal there? You
Their
have to.
benches- their
attach
benches is gonna have to get a lot worse.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be Clay, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
a lot of picks.
probably.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Clay, and it's gonna be any possible pick and young player that you have.
Moody, Kuminga, yeah.
Like that's literally what it's going to come down to.
Probably gonna be
Clay is
Clay.
expendable now. You
So
forget
then-
about it.
So then let me ask. Clay hasn't been great. Clay is expendable right now, right? Cool. I agree. Clay, washed.
Who do you plug in?
If you trade Clay, where is your shooting outside of Steph? If you're trotting out a lineup with Wiggins, Draymond, and Siakam,
I mean, but like,
I mean, but if you
the
don't trade
shooting-
Clay,
the shooting is still bad with Clay. He's basically a decoy.
yeah, exactly.
So, like,
You also, but
Yeah,
exactly.
but then
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
what's the lineup? Like, you're
I
not
think
plugging.
you're starting Podziemski at that point.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Yeah, now I'd rather keep Clay. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I like Podziemski. He's
I know,
a
but
good
the Warriors are trying to
basketball
win
player.
championships.
I think he's capable of, as you said, being a quality plug and play. Like
If
three
you're trying to win now, I don't think that's the move.
Surely.
I mean,
it's so
Wiggs.
early
I
in
think
the
Wiggs
season,
will
man.
also be shooting better as the
Deb
season
Boys in the
progresses.
chat and says
I agree.
Levine.
Levine makes a lot of sense.
Levine definitely moves mountains for me.
mountains for me
Yeah.
with the Warriors.
That is a good option. Not gonna
Levine
lie.
moves mountains, and given the fact that he wouldn't come incredibly expensive.
But what does that trade look like for Zach LaVine?
Also,
Probably the
Klay Thompson,
same.
and like I'd say 2 first-round picks plus like Jonathan Kuminga. That's probably what the
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
They have to.
and I mean Zach gives you the hypothetical Klay Thompson shooting.
True.
Zach LaVine brings that. Also, being a capable ball handler, I think he'd benefit from the move. In a
No, he
similar
definitely
vein,
moves the needle.
in a similar vein of
Absolutely.
where Wiggins benefited from going to a winning situation. I think Zach would be more locked.
That's kind of the only move that would.
Yeah, but I think for the price they can get Zach at, I think that's probably the only move that.
Yes, I agree.
The
agree.
Jordan Poole trade really does suck because like they're really missing him. Like I know he hasn't looked great in Washington.
I hated that move from the start.
It's so funny.
It was
It's so funny because like he's miserable there. It seems.
And now the Warriors are
now the
miserable.
Bro, the
Warriors
video
are
of him
miserable
just
without
like
him.
in the timeout, like just looking at the play and then looking away, and then they go out and he's just like, "What are we doing?" I'll figure it out.
can be- I
And he
can-
fumbled Ruby Rose. You seen that?
Yeah. I can admit that it didn't work for either side. I feel like in a way.
It was for money purposes, honestly.
Yes, it
Money
was.
purposes, and obviously there was locker room drama with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I get he had to go, but like it just they needed him, and you know,
yeah. The Levine trade is the only one that moved
Yeah,
anything for
true.
me.
It just stinks because it's like, even when they won the ring 2 years ago,
Jordan
we
Poole
saw Klay Thompson was regressing.
right.
So it's just like, how do you trade the replacement for that?
Yeah.
Like, for a guy like, listen, Chris Paul is great at what Chris Paul does, but
Or you trade
He's not-
CP.
Chris
He's not
Paul
for
isn't
them,
going to
bro.
give you that juice that Jordan
Yeah.
Poole is giving. Like, they're clearly missing the juice right now. They're missing the juice, and I just don't know. I just don't know how you get it.
You could trade CP in that case for Levine too, and give a similar package because he and
I don't
Klay
think
Thompson at this
the
point have
Bulls want that.
exact
Though.
same value, and it's nothing. What happened? Oh, Sleazy, I'm sorry,
I don't think the Bulls would want CP though.
but I don't think they want Klay Thompson either.
We just want expiring contract.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
That,
Right, yeah.
CP and Klay
Is
Thompson
Clay
at this point
expiring?
have the exact I
Yeah, because
believe
they
it
didn't
is.
extend them, right?
Have the exact same fucking value, and that's nothing. That is an expiring contract, and that is
Right,
that.
yeah.
That's it. They have the exact same amount of value, so I don't think it changes anything. And if you keep Klay Thompson, is he willing to move to the bench? Like
At this
that's-
point, I don't really think he has a choice.
yeah, I agree. And if he's your sixth man,
That's
I feel
not
better
bad.
about that.
That's
I
not
feel
bad.
better about that because then you don't have to rely on him giving you 20 points per night or 17 points per night. Because then at that point, it just becomes, oh, is Klay having a hot night? Okay, then we're going to keep him in the closing lineup. Is
Yeah.
Klay not having a hot
Yeah,
night?
but
Okay,
it's-
we could keep him on the bench.
It's not
just
doing anything.
so rough with Clay because Clay made such a name for himself, obviously being such an elite, great, one of the best shooters we've ever seen, but
Yes.
also by being arguably the best 3-and-D player in the
Yeah.
NBA for like a 5-year stretch, doing everything else he can on a basketball court other than shooting. And
Yeah.
now it's just when the shot's not there, he's not there, and it sucks to see.
Yeah, like some Warriors game I watched when Clay's shot is not falling, he's so mentally checked out already. It's like
Yes.
why he's thinking to himself like, why am I even playing? If
He
I
gets the ball, like dribbles a little bit, and just chucks up a shot like late in the shot clock or something like that. That's all he does. He just chucks up bad shots or he turns the ball over. Like he's just.
I think the Warriors are just keeping him for like nostalgia purposes at this point.
Well,
Like,
that is what it
don't-
is.
They don't want to see the Splash Brothers break up.
Yeah.
They don't want to, I understand that from a certain point, but
It's a business though. That's what everyone says. Players say it.
if you want to win, bro,
Yeah.
you gotta make moves.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.